All right, welcome back to Dead Metal Media, everybody. I am your host, Dead Metal, and welcome to an exclusive review of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. First, have to give a major shout out and a huge thank you to Disney for hooking your boy up with premiere access, as I always like to do with these Marvel and really just superhero films in general. I want to give you my immediate thoughts. So, once the credits rolled, after the post-credit scene and the mid-credit scene, of course, after those credits were done, as I sat in the theater, one hand clutching my empty bag of popcorn, another hand clutching my empty drink container, one thought continuously ran through my mind about the 2.5-hour film that I had just watched, and that thought was this. What in the ever-loving multiverse dick-riding fuck was that? I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, this was bad. Doctor Strange is a hero that no matter how badly Marvel wants to push the narrative as the next Iron Man or the next Captain America, is simply put, at best, mid. All right? This guy is the equivalent of the Hulk, of Bruce fucking Banner. He should be in the Avengers movies and nothing more, because nobody cares about his personal plight. Nobody cares about the fact that he's a sorcerer. What, is he gonna don a fucking 9-foot beard and a pointy hat and call himself Gandalf next? What the fuck is this shit? Absolute joke. An absolute joke of a film from a company who could not give two shits about the quality of the products that they peddle, aka Disney, aka Marvel, aka the signs of the sinking ship. You know, we all knew Marvel was going downhill after Endgame was the worst, without a doubt, the worst MCU period in the entirety of the MCU. All right, that period immediately following Endgame was the lowest point. But you know what? Now they've sunk even lower. All right, they jumped off their pedestal to hang themselves from it. They're a failing company who doesn't want to acknowledge the flashing red lights above, the blaring sirens. The MCU is in the negative, by the way. If you didn't know, you go on Wikipedia and you look at the budgets versus the domestic totals and the global totals for the films, the last 4 or 5 Marvel films have been easily in the red. It's not even close. And Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is doing absolutely nothing to rectify this by putting an absolute cunt like Benedict Cumberbatch, see what I did there, in the leading role. I mean, this motherfucker can't act to save his fucking life, yet they gave him an entire film. They gave him a trilogy of Doctor Strange movies. Yes, spoiler alert, there will be another one. And they have positioned him within the MCU to be one of the driving forces. My God, holy shit. Watching him act, I would rather rip off my fucking eyelids. And the movie's structure, the plot, the pacing, just the entire narrative of the film is so god-awful. I mean, honestly, honest to God, can we get off this multiverse dick riding for a moment? Can we take a step back and acknowledge that no film other than Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse did it well? All right, Spider-Man No Way Home was nothing but a nostalgia fest where the writers smoked a heavy bowl of weed and then decided they could just substitute in Andrew Garfield, they could substitute in Tobey Maguire, they could substitute in Alfred Molina, instead of having to structure an actual coherent plot that challenges Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Because they know Tom Holland's Spider-Man is a bland Spider-Man. He's a worthless character. People won't remember him in 10, 20 years, just like people aren't going to remember Doctor Strange in 10, 20 years. Doctor Strange has failed on all fronts. He failed on the comic front, and he failed on the movie front. Nobody gives a fuck. And no matter how much Marvel and Disney want to shove him down our throats, no matter how much they want to try to paint him as the next coming, the next leader of the next Avengers, he's not. He's not. He's a fucking C-tier superhero who should have been killed in Endgame. I fucking said what I said. Honestly, There's no way without the help of the writers and that really protective plot armor, Thanos would have crushed this motherfucker like an ant. There is no question about it. And now this multiverse, let's get back to the multiverse aspect of the multiverse of madness, which honestly, the only true madness here is that you idiots are going to continue to funnel money into this dying ass franchise, paying to see Doctor Strange. Imagine that, paying to see Doctor Strange. There's an oxymoron if I've ever heard one. But this fucking movie, holy shit, they go all in and then some on the multiverse. Like suddenly the magic isn't in the fact that we have like a core set of 5 or 6 heroes that are really good and their powers complement each other. No, now we need 5 or 6 iterations of every goddamn character in the MCU, right? So we have 5 or 6 Doctor Stranges running around. We have 5 or 6 Iron Mans, one of which played by Tom Cruise, running around. We got 5 or 6 Captain Americas running around. There is no end in sight. The multiverse, the concept that they have introduced to this fucking MCU, this cinematic world, will be its undoing. Because now it's very clear what they're setting up. I'm going to spoil the entire film for you, right? So they're bringing in other characters to take up the role of like Iron Man and Captain America and Black Widow, all these actors. So Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, everybody who said, fuck it, I'm done, I want out of the MCU, they got out because they knew it was a sinking ship. Only that dumbass Hemsworth, stupid enough to stick around to milk Marvel for whatever fucking money he can get. So now they've created a revolving door. No longer the idea of just creating a new set of Avengers led by Doctor Strange. No, they've used Doctor Strange as a funnel to give us a brand new Iron Man, a brand new Captain America, a brand new Spider-Man, all these other characters that we didn't need to begin with. The MCU had a very clear endpoint with Endgame, but instead of just closing the book and letting it lie, as bad as Endgame was, letting it lie, nope. Now we're going to have the revolving door. Anytime that an actor gets too old to play the character, we're just going to dip our fingers into the multiverse, pluck a young, new, hot shot, and then they're the new iteration of the hero. Like, my God, this is without a doubt the worst film I have ever seen. Troll 2 has more cinematic value and adds more to the world by existing than Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Because the true multiverse here is the fact that Marvel have been hitting Control-C and Control-V on the same generic superhero formula and selling it to you over 30 films deep and 8 TV shows at this point, and you still haven't noticed. They've created the multiverse of Marvel. They've created a winning formula because they've tapped into exactly what you dumbass smooth brains consider entertainment, and you're content just to sit back and watch the same shit over and over again. Do me a favor, all right? Go back into your mind. I will prove this to you right now. I will prove this to you right fucking now. I want you to think back to the beginning of the MCU. Think back to Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2. Think back to The Incredible Hulk. Or think back to fucking Captain America, the First Avenger. Were these good movies? I'm assuming you said yes. You're a fucking Marvel nut hugger. All right, now they were good movies, right? Collectively, what made them good? I'll give you a minute. Now, I think the movies were trash, but I'll give you a minute. I'll entertain your little bullshit, your horrible, bad taste having self for exactly 10 seconds. Are you ready? I'll tell you what made them good. They focused on one single character, not an army, because more is not always better. Quality over quantity. The multiverse is the exact definition of quantity over quality. Let's throw enough shit at these people so that they stick around. Well, guess what? You're nothing but the butt of the joke while the Marvel CEOs and the Disney CEOs kick their feet up on their fucking desks that cost more than you make a year, laughing their ass off that you were dumb enough to let them continually shove their 19-inch cock into your asshole since 2008, and you have let them nut inside you so much it's a wonder you haven't had their children yet. And you're gonna keep doing it. There's no way around it. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is without a doubt the worst film I've ever seen in my life. But sadly, it's only going to get worse. You know what's coming this summer? Thor, Love and Thunder, baby. And then we got Guardians 3. Holy shit, you Marvel nut huggers don't give up, man. Your series is trash. Your cinematic universe has gone down the shitter and is very quickly ruining its reputation. Undoubtedly destined to be remembered as the biggest fall from grace in the history of cinema. And your dumbasses aren't going to think with your brain instead of your fucking impulse because you want to go see Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, man. But it's Doctor Strange, man, and he's gonna be opening up for Iron Man as Tom Cruise. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Oh, it's gonna be so good. That's the Marvel nut hugger methodology. That's how they operate. That is the Marvel nut hugger mindset. Oh, it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. Bull fucking shit. That is gonna be the furthest fucking thing from good. I've seen it. I give it 0 out of 10. And if you're excited for it, you're an idiot. Period.